Hey ho out there, YouTubers. Listen, I ain't been posting a whole lot here lately or whatever because I've had like a lot of things going on and doing some stuff and, just, trying to fix up the porch and stuff like that, and get the ramp going and stuff for the boss and Naomi so they could get in and out way better and stuff. But, just, taking care of yard work and trying to do some projects, so on and so forth. But what time that I'm not doing that, I've been, watching what the devils out in the world has been doing. And you find out more and more. And it's sad that you find out little dribbles and drabs. This is literally what they say. And Amy comes into play right here because she is the one that tells me that, because I'll say, well, when we're talking, she'll be telling me about something that's pretty mind-blowing, and I'm like, well, how can that be? That's not really, that don't even make sense. How would they, how would they do that or whatever? And she tells me all the time, well, it's by design. You can't bring everything out at one time because if you do, people won't believe it and, conspiracy and all that stuff. And I'm going to tell you something. Conspiracy is only conspiracy until after it's proven or has already been proven. Now, in 1984 or 85 or whatever year it was, they obtained a copying machine. And they either one found a copy of these papers that were stuck inside of it, on top of it, below it. I don't really know all the details. My theory is they bought or they found a copying machine, turned it on, pushed a button, and it probably spit out the last thing or whatever it was. But anyway, they have a copy of the Bilderberg meeting. And, well, they have the papers or whatever, the documents that they give to everybody that was attending in attendance at this meeting, Bilderberg meeting. Now, if you're not aware of who the Bilderbergs are, let me tell you, man, you've got a whole lot of waking up to do. You got a whole lot of stuff that you got to research, and you don't have no time. Because the people who have been following this, even a little bit, even the slightest little bit, they already know at what a critical time that we're at right now. It is absolutely, it's something that once you start finding out about, I was no different. I was like, no way, that's crazy. That ain't, But Alex Jones, he was the one that got the pictures from, what's the name of that, Amy?
Bohemian Grove.
Bohemian Grove. And, as far back then, and then you had, like whenever Julian Assange come out with WikiLeaks and stuff like that, these amazing, brave people were the ones who really, really just put it all on the line. I mean, look where Julian Assange is right now. If you don't know him, you should look him up. And if you're still watching this right now, you're probably somebody who really believes in God and believes in, truth and justice and a better way. And, that you are a compassionate, caring person who hopefully is just like I am, who has something that sometimes you feel like it's a curse, but it's called empathy. And I have a lot of that. And that's where my drive comes from, is my empathy. Well, more importantly, from God. God is the one that gives us all that. You have these demonic people who's trying to say whatever it is that you have is something bad. Like if you know the Lord, that's got to be bad. Well, bad for who? It's bad for them because they don't want you to find out some stuff. Listen for just a second while I try to get our Brad Winstrup's answer machine. Maybe they'll answer, maybe they won't. But just listen to this for just a minute. This is May 24th, 24. Listen to this.
Is attacked and subdued by the weapon. The public might instinctively feel that something is wrong, but because of the technical nature of the silent weapon, they cannot express their feelings in a rational way or handle the problems with intelligence.
Yeah, Brad Winstrup's
Therefore,
office,
they
please.
do not know how to cry for help, and they do not know how to associate with others to defend themselves against it.
This document...
We'll listen to this here in just a minute. Let's see if we can get somebody on the phone here.
Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready. Thank you, sir.
All right, 1 second. You're welcome, no problem. Hi, this is Brad Winstrup, serving Ohio's 2nd District.
Wow, what a
Thank you for
shocker.
calling my Washington, D.C.
What a shocker. He must be busy still looking at something that happened in the past with COVID, which is important. I've said this a million times. It's important. Most certainly should check out everything and anything that's got to do with the bid or anything like that out there. But guess what? We've got so many other things too, you know.
Switchboard, how may I help you?
Yeah, Brad Winstrup's office, please.
Sure, one moment, please.
Thank you, young lady.
You're welcome.
But I'm going to tell you, there's too many problems out here for anyone to just jump, grab a hold of one thing. I don't care how big that it is. Right now, we're in a situation where there's many, many things that are huge. So they don't have the luxury, And when I see them and they got good color to their face, looks like they've been sleeping well, I don't like it. I don't like it. Why did you take that job? If you're taking a job like...
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm connecting you now, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But...
Hi, this is Brad Winstrup,
Woo.
serving Ohio's 2nd
Yeah,
District.
he don't want to
Thank
answer.
you for calling my Washington.
You know what it is? I'm telling you right now. Here, how do you do that? Call that number. Oh, we don't have a number to call. Let me try it again. Now.
Oh.
We're gonna keep calling here. It's not 4 o'clock.
Star 67.
Good job, buddy. We might have to star 67. That's the boss man.
Yep.
The Capital Operator may help you.
Yeah, Brad Winstrup, please. Every time you call these switchboards at 202-224-3121, man, all these people are so nice when you call in. So call your representative, or at least call the answer machines, the human answer machines, or the mechanical, because that's what we're going to get again. I'm telling you right now, we're going to get an answer machine because they've got to be busy with going to lunch or something, But Brad has been working on the COVID thing and the origins and the special committee and everything else. You can go watch all that stuff. Important, vitally important. I'm glad he's doing it. The problem of it is there's so many other things that it's going to be irrelevant as hell if we don't get on top of this stuff. Because, they supposedly have a debate with Trump and Biden coming up, right? I say it's not going to happen. And even if it does, or even if it doesn't happen, it's part of a show. And if you watch some of this stuff on here and the things that I'm finding out, almost on a daily basis, and it's not just finding out one thing on a daily basis, it's finding out like several things on a daily basis. Now, according to what Amy says, and she has...
Who is Amy?
What's that?
Who is Amy?
My woman?
Oh. Okay, so let me connect you to Winstrup's office, sir. I'm the operator.
Oh, that's okay. I was just talking. You're on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, so I'm talking to the people out there in YouTube land, and I'm always telling them about what a great job you guys do anytime you call the switchboard, and they shouldn't hesitate at all about calling, because you guys are always more than helpful, you know, like getting us to who we want to talk to and stuff.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate you very, very much.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let me connect you, okay?
God bless.
All right, you too. Have a good weekend.
Hi, this is Brad
Let me tell you what that's about. She was interested. She wants to know. You would not believe how many times have we called and had a conversation with the switchboard operators about what's going on.
A lot.
Yeah, and they're usually like-minded, but they got to watch what they say and stuff because of the positions that they hold and stuff. Now, here's why I'm calling. Just one of the many reasons. But we're trying to get a hold of Wimpy Strip's office here because we had, you know what, maybe that's what we should do. We should call Sherwood Brown's office, the one who's hung up on me many, many times, you know.
Operator, how may I direct your call?
Yeah, Brad Winstrip, please.
One moment, please.
Thank you. See how polite they are? Anytime you guys, you know, if you get a chance, a minute, a second, it doesn't matter. You call up, man, ask them to get you in touch because you can't right there, you know. But we're not even going to worry about calling old Brad there. It's quite clear that they don't really give a damn, or else they would, you know, pick up the phone. Now, why do I say that? Maybe they're busy, right? Maybe they're not, especially whenever... you can go back and look at my videos. It's like, well, how many calls did you get today? I think we got like 20 calls or something. You know, I've heard them say like 12 calls all day. And, you know, so it's not like they're pressed for time or whatever. So, but whenever they do pick up and then they don't like what you're asking or what you're saying, which what they're supposed to do is take down whatever message that it is that you want given to your representative. That's their job. And if they don't like what you're saying, then they hang up on you. You know, now, you know, we're asking meaningful, very important stuff, because I'm going to tell you something. This is going to go down in history. That we are in a major time in history. Mike Lindell, again, going back to what he said, you know, this is our opportunity. You know, either one, you get, how they say that, Amy, the sunshine is the best disinfectant? Mm-hmm. Who was it said that? Somebody pretty cool said that. Anyway, sunshine is the best disinfectant. The truth, the light, you know. But whenever you're talking about the truth, this is the thing that they want to suppress. If you watch this right here, it is so mind-blowing of the things that you find out and stuff. And to Amy's credit, she'd been telling me about this for a long time. And I was one of them from the very beginning. From the very first thing that she said, I'm like, no, what? You know. But, you know, and they talk about knowing what is the red pill and the green pill.
Red and blue.
Is it red and blue?
Red and blue.
Matrix. Red pill is waking up to the world you're in, and blue is going back to sleep, just oblivious.
So the blue pill just puts you to sleep?
Yeah, well, keeps you asleep.
Well, here's the thing. Not only have I said it, but also on here, when you hear, here's what happened. They found that copying machine or whatever. Somebody, when they discovered it, bought it, whatever, it was in storage, whatever, they turned it on, they put some paper in to see if it worked, and they just pushed the light, and it spit out a copy of the agenda given to the ones in attendance at the Bilderberg meeting. And this was in like 1980 or whenever, 87 or so. I mean, I don't remember when they was in attendance, but it was in this copy machine. So some way they got it from that. And when you read it, it is mind-blowing what's in it. And this lady here is reading from it. Listen real careful to what she's saying. Because it's not what she's saying, it's what she's reading. that this is what they give to the ones, the Bilderbergs, the ones that was in attendance. Listen to this right here.
Talks about a combination of irresistible attacks upon humanity and how they will control humanity. Politically, they talk about how they set up the political system right and left so that we would feel
right and left, Republican, Democrat.
Our grievances were aired.
So we would feel like that there was some kind of justice happening. You know, right and left set up, Republican, Democrat. What's it always come down to? Republican or a Democrat, you know? And the way I see it, and this is the best way that I can describe it, so I'm not going to apologize for the language here, but it's because it's just true. Basically, what it is what flavor of shit have you wanted, you know? You can have your nasty or your nasty. That's it, you know? So, you know, conservative, Republican, you know, should have God first and foremost. I don't think that you can be a Republican and not have God first and foremost. I don't think you can be a human being.
And our frustrations could come out. But the bankers were behind everyone who was elected, and they laugh at us.
And here we go, you jellyfish.
Now, the bankers, that's very, very important because we have been talking about Bilderbergs. When I first heard about them, I'm like, what? You know, and I seen this somewhere. I can't remember. It was on the computer. And I watched, and they was, and when I say they, I just mean the other demonic minions or whatever, you know. But they had rented like an entire facility, like a Hilton or something like that. They rented out the whole damn building, the whole thing. And that's where they had their meeting because they had a fence around it and they garden stuff. Now, back then, there wasn't a whole lot of people that knew about it or anything, you know, that they was, or maybe there was a bunch, but nobody was really saying anything. But outside the gate, there was like somebody trying to actually do some genuine reporting. And, you know, we got to watch about the double standard words, you know, like government. See, it's like some people say, well, you know, government good. Well, not anybody I know, government bad, you know. But you have these words like whenever you say news. News is very, very, very misleading because you're not after news, you're after true information. And news, what's it stand for?
News, entertainment, weather, and sports.
News, entertainment, weather, and sports. Okay, so news, N-E-W-S, you know. But the first word is still misleading because it says news. We don't really know, you know, we now know that news can mean whatever they're telling you, truthful or not truthful. And so we got to be really, really careful and cautious. But now listen to this paper here. This is how. So they rent out this entire facility, and they won't let anybody in unless you're a Bilderberg, which there was 150
around, yes.
And Hillary Clinton being one of them, of course.
All the world's elites.
Yeah.
There.
So all of the I can't stand calling them elites. I call them.
The royal family of England was there.
I call them idiots because I don't have any masters down here. I have one master, and that's my Lord and Savior. That's it. We're not here to be led around by the nose and stuff. Now, there's some people that they prefer it that way. That's just how they are, you know. I mean, they want to, you know, somebody else to make decisions and stuff like that. And I get that, and I understand that. But make sure, well, actually, I don't understand. But I definitely respect somebody to be that way. Now, why am I saying that? Because I want whoever to know that you can be a very good patriot and a strong person by, even if you want to listen to somebody else, just make sure that you're listening to somebody who actually cares about you, you know? because their agenda are to off anyone, unalive them, anyone that they see as a lower standard. And these papers and stuff goes through so much, and if you was to read it all, I mean, they got a stack. I mean, it's a very long read or whatever, but well worth doing. And my first and foremost thing that I want to do is to tell anyone, don't look at me, don't look at anybody else, but get in and get saved. You know, put God first and foremost in your life, in your heart, and in your soul. Because all of this belongs ultimately to God. And if you read that Bible, what it says, you know, that this is all playing out how it's supposed to. So there's those who will get on that ark and they'll be saved. And there's those that will be laughing and they'll be worried so much about what that person next to them's thinking about what they're feeling. You know, they don't want to be embarrassed or whatever by maybe doing whatever. And let me point out something that's vitally, vitally important. I see this all the time. You'll see somebody get aggravated or they'll go against something merely because they don't understand and they don't know what to do. So instead of saying, really? And then finding out more information, or maybe just sitting still or something, they'll try to pretend like they're not an idiot. Which makes them an even bigger idiot, is whenever they start going against something without even finding out the facts or something. I've seen people go against something, but then they found out and then they come back, and this is something super hard to do. I don't care who you are, is to say, hey, I was wrong. You know, I made a mistake. I should have, you know. And here's a very good example that just jumped into my thought there while I was saying that. Myself was all about banning TikTok until I seen Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and all of them wanting to ban TikTok. Look, let me tell you something. TikTok's got to be good. Got to be. Has to be. I'm not on TikTok. I've never done TikTok. But the reason why is because, you know, they done the right thing. And the problem that we have is, how do we decipher what's right and what's wrong here? You know, how do we figure this out? What's right and wrong? Well, you got to get in the Bible first of all. But I'm talking about like issues that we're having down here. Have you ever had a situation? And that's very, very interesting too, because he goes on to talk about from these papers that they're reading through, that come out of that copy machine from the Bilderberg meeting that was given to them from the Council of Seven. Very important. What is the Council of Seven? I say it's the damn banks. I mean, I don't know that. Nobody said that or whatever, but it just makes sense to me. You got Amy, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Vanderbilts,
Collins.
What are they?
Collins.
Kennedys.
And there's 13 of them.
Well, anyway, these are just, you know, some of them that, you know, you have to dive in and research and see what their true agendas are here, you know, which their agenda is getting rid of us, you know. So, but you got to watch these words like news, you know, and understand the meaning behind, you know, these words that they use and stuff, because it is a huge tool that they use to misinform us and to throw us off. So if you don't know a word or something like that, dive into it. You can Google it if you want to, but if you Google it, remember that Google likes to screw up things too. It blatantly lies to you. So I don't know how many times that I've found lies that it says, and then especially when it comes to the Constitution and stuff, you can ask it certain things or whatever, and it shouldn't, but somehow or another it'll say, people who do that are not very intelligent, or you'll get laughed at if you do that, by Google. Google actually has said that about some things I've tried to look at. So anyway, but they would rent out the entire floors of this. Back then, and the Bilderbergs would, and there'd be people outside the gate, a few of them, you know, trying to report on it. Everybody was like, well, what's that? Myself included. I remember when I first seen it. And then I thought about it for a few days and stuff, but then for too long, I was just back to, you know, my normal ways or whatever, you know, just doing my thing and concentrating on and this is the critical part, Amy, when they say, look over here, when there's something that we should be focused in on and putting that first and foremost in the front, and then they'll have a distraction with old P. Diddler or P. Diddy or whatever.
CIA calls that a psychops.
Yeah.
Psychological operation.
Yeah, something else that's really in your eye or the public's eye or whatever, like Taylor Swift, the Swifties out there, who's catching on. Man, there's a lot of the Swifties, is that what they call them? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them that's catching on, and they're bailing out from her because they can see that she's a demonic demon that is set up and don't really care about anybody but themselves. Now, they'll talk about being Christians and stuff like that. But, you know, anybody who's doing the kind of demonic stuff that she does and then just speaks about being a Christian, you know, I'd strongly, you know, anyway, and a lot of people's catching on that and everything. So, but listen to this next part here about jellyfish. You're the jellyfish. Listen.
In case you missed the jellyfish reference.
But the very last statement in this document, it says,
Now, mind you, this is from the meeting for the Bilderbergs that was given to them at that meeting from the seven, the Council of Seven, by the banks.
6, cattle. Those who...
I'm going to rewind that just a little bit.
...come out. But the bankers were behind everyone who was elected, and they laugh at us.
And here we go, you jellyfish. In case you missed the jellyfish reference.
But the very last statement in this document, it says, Factor 6, cattle. Those who will not use their brains are no better off than those who have no brains. And so this mindless school of jellyfish, father, mother, son, and daughter, become useful beasts of burden, or trainers of the same.
Now, you get that? You see what they're saying? They're saying they love the ones that don't get into this. They don't see, you know, what's happening. Even when you tell them the truth, and they're denying it. Even when you're telling them the truth, that, you know, they're like, oh no, or they'll go about their life without waking up to this. They like that. They're calling them jellyfish. And I'm going to tell you, you know, I know a lot of people that were jellyfish that aren't jellyfish no more. And I would rather have the truth as a damn lie, no matter how bad it is. So if I'm going out, I want to know how it is, you know. Yeah, Brad Winstrip, please.
One moment, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, man, I'm telling you, you got to call your representative. You know, you're not really calling the representative. You'll call the switchboard. These guys are awesome, every one of them.
Brad Winstrip, serving Ohio's 2nd District.
Oh, he ain't gonna
Thank
answer.
you for calling my Washington, D.C.
Oh, he must be busy planning his retirement coming up or whatever. You know, I'm getting ready. I so wanted to set up a meeting and go interview him, talk to him, but I haven't done that. And I've got a lot of stuff, you know, going on and everything, but I would absolutely love to set up a meeting. If y'all out there would like for me to go and have a meeting and put it on here, leave a comment if you're interested in me doing something like that. Let me know, and maybe I might consider doing it. But you know, there's a lot of genuine questions I'd like to ask. I'm not even going to say them right here and now, but you know, for instance, like how much money does he get paid a year? You know, which is, they say, is public knowledge. You know, and that's good whenever they say that, because you write that down and then you do a little bit of investigation and stuff like that and see, you know, might find out, you know, like who he associates with, you know, things like that, and some other really in-depth questions that I would really like to ask every one of them, you know, that should be. Anytime somebody takes any position in government, they should have to fill out a thing saying that at the end of it, they should do it before, and then afterwards, like fill out, and I won't finish that because I don't want to put it out there. I don't want them to know what I'm going to ask them. But I've got to lay out what we should be doing with everybody that's in government. You know, they're finding out all this corruption. Have you heard about the thumb drive? Amy, did you see about the thumb drive up in Michigan?
No.
Did you see it? No. They took a thumb drive and they kept, you know, reinserting it or whatever for the count or whatever, and then the judge throwed all of it out and they had to have a redo or something like that, you know. It's pretty interesting. But, you know, how many situations, and this is vitally important because this is what he goes on to say. In this meeting, these papers, the Bilderbergs, they were told that they wasn't going to fire actual bullets. They was going to fire situations. Think about that. Situations. So instead of, you know, like going and blam, you know, unaliving somebody or something, they're going to create situations. And then, you know, like it comes up in your life. Have you ever had an experience or something that happened and you're like, okay, so here's a for instance on that. All right, we already know, all of you out there who's watching this, I had called Sherwood Brown and office, and they hung up on me for no reason other than the human answer machine did not do his job. All their job is to do is to write down what it is you want told to our representative. No, say it out loud.
That was J.D. Vance's office.
Oh, J.D. Vance. Yeah. Oh, it was J.D. Vance, wasn't it? Yes. Yeah, J.D. Vance. Thank you very much. Well, Sherwood Brown, they hung up on me too. Same thing. Yeah. But so J.D. Vance's office. But Tyler, I called, and Tyler, the answer machine there, which is clearly, you know, insignificant. You know, he's like useless. I don't know why he's been paid or whatever. And you know, sometimes they'll say, well, they don't get paid. They're getting paid. If they're there, they're wanting some kind of experience or knowledge or something. They're getting paid some way, somehow. And if they're not, then I don't want them answering the machine, right? Or don't answer the phone, right? Okay, so anyway, so at the end of it, which I've done this, and you guys know this, that of talking when I get through to Winstrip's office there, and talk to one of the answer machines, you know, they will repeat back to me what it is that is to be relayed to the representative. And, you know, that's it. But whenever I asked for them to read back at J.D. Vance's office for Tyler there, you know, he couldn't do it. And then whenever I merely, you know, just said, well, hey, let's go back over this. Did we put that video out? Is that video out? Mm-hmm. You remember what the title of that one is? Anyway, it's on one of the videos. You guys, if you watched it, then you've already seen it. We'll be right back. These people who were born with a silver spoon up their ass, let's review how they think of you again.
Are no better off than those who have no brains. And so this mindless school of jellyfish, father, mother, son, and daughter, become useful beasts of burden, or trainers of the same.
Useful beasts of burden. So useful idiots. You know, liberals. Democrats. Liberals. Democrats. You know, if you ever have the sheer absolute displeasure of going through Athens, Ohio, or the Plains, you'll see nothing but it's like an infestation of them, especially in the government. You know, if you go to their, what was it called? It's not the courthouse or whatever. It's their
municipal building. It's their
municipal building. I think that's what it's called or whatever. I made a short video about them flying their demonic flag out front and all that stuff. You know, but you know, those are the useful idiots that this paper is referring to, and it is absolutely implying and saying that it doesn't matter how smart that you are, or if you're even awake to all this or not, that by the time, see, because they said that, or we won't have the ability to explain what is going on, and we won't know what's going on. Well, they definitely thought that they was right in that, but if somebody else hasn't figured it out, I have figured it out. They're devils. They're demons. They don't have empathy. They don't care about anyone else except for their own. That, I mean, fluoride. They have been putting fluoride in water for how long? So they poisoned the water. So if you set down a glass in front of somebody and you pour water in it that just came from your spring outside, you're blessed if you happen to have one, but you pour that water, beautiful spring water, God-given, you know, and there's your glass of water, and then you take one drop or a half drop of any kind of name your poison, and you go, we'll say fluoride right now, and you put it in there. Is it still water? Nope. You got a glass full of poison. That's what you have. And that is called a soft kill. It's a soft kill. That's what they call it. It's a soft kill. When you don't unalive somebody immediately, it's called a soft kill over time. And guess what they do? They make money off of you that way also. Look, there is a pile of stuff coming, and I so wanted to put together like a new upgraded 2.0 of James Preston, We the People Talk, or at least James Preston 2.0 or 5.0. It's 2.0, I guess, because there's other things I got coming in the future and stuff. But I'm telling you right now, we've got to switch gears and stop making other things priority and stuff, like, you know, well, you know, I have to go do this, or I have to go do that, or I have to get this done, or I have to get that done. You know, and I'm not talking about like in your family life, you got to take care of, you know, what you got to take care of. But I'm talking about, we also, just like with Brad Winstrip, you know, thinks that he grabs a hold of COVID, and even though they started this special counsel and they found out all that stuff or whatever, you know, that's great, that's good. But, you know, it's like saying, well, I have a house, so that's good enough. I don't have to do anything else, you know. Well, somebody stole my car, so I guess that's the only thing I got to do is just concentrate on who stole my car. I don't have to do anything else, you know. What? Take the kids to the doctor? Oh, no, they don't need that. What? Honey had a birthday? Oh, no, I can't do that. I'm just chasing this car. What happened to this car? Sorry about that. I can't do that right now. I'll go to church? No, I can't. I'm working on chasing this, you know, trying to find out who took my car. That's what I'm talking about. There's other things going on here that, and I'm not talking about just Brad. I'm talking about the rest of them they need to get into. You know, there's so many of us that are waking up now. The Democrats, liberal-crats, are scared out of their damn mind because they're afraid that the jellyfish all of a sudden has a backbone that they didn't realize it was there. So I ain't no damn jellyfish by no means, and I know you guys out there ain't no jellyfish. But that's what they called us, literally called us. And they don't have, if you confront a demon face to face, like these ones on here, they run. They're cowards because sunshine is the best disinfectant. Meaning, so if you tell the truth and you show them the light, and here's what they're really, really mostly afraid of, because they already know what the light is. They already know the truth. What they're really afraid of is that you might show somebody else who the liar is, and who the demonic idiot is. And that's what they're afraid of, you know, because they love the dark. They like being hid away. Now, right here, I want you to listen to this next part here. I'll get it queued up, and I'll be right back.
Capital operator.
Yeah, JD Vance, please.
One moment, thank you.
Thank you. Friday, 4:37 p.m.
Thank you for calling the Washington, D.C. office of Senator Vance. Currently, all of our staff are assisting other callers, so please leave a message.
And just call back, and we'll see what we can. Because they're so busy or whatever, getting 5 calls a day or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, JD Vance, please.
One moment.
This is the bad part whenever you're trying to call into your representatives or whatever. They take off on Friday plumb early, but yet you still have our wonderful switchboard operators who's working till God knows what hour. But the rest of them, they want to jump out of there because it's Friday or something, like the world's a better place today, you know. Instead of staying where they belong and getting some work done, and they ought to be in there on the weekends and everything else. I've done, you know, fired all of them, but they insist on staying, and why wouldn't they whenever they can set their own hours? Look, you set an answer machine, and you know, to answer, and you put that answer machine on, you can go do whatever you want to. You can hang out with all these lobbyists. You can just hang out with the lobbyists, get your lunch paid for, you know, get your new house that you want to buy bought and paid for, figure out what kind of stocks to buy to make even more money. So you're going to be really worried about that $170,000 a year salary that you get from us, the peasants, right?
Okay, let me transfer you, sir. I can't comment. One moment, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, young lady. I was actually talking to the YouTubers there. I thought you were switching me over, but you know, you're like-minded. You're just like the rest. And I've talked to the other switchboard operators, and you won't believe how they feel. They're the same way, but you guys can't comment, and we understand that. But God bless you, and we appreciate you for doing what you do. Hello? I think she switched me over, and I think that was Vance's office, and I think they hung up. That's what I think. Yep, that's what happened. She switched me over because I heard the office in the background or whatever. Yep, they don't want to deal with none of that. That's all right. We'll just keep doing it until we, let me see here. Now I got to redial that. Yeah, I changed it off the number, I think. There we go. All right, now we're good. Okay, now stop it. You know, we did this earlier too, didn't we? Today, I think on the same video here. The
Can I help you?
Yeah, J.D. Vance, please. Ohio.
Sure, 1 moment, please.
Thank you.
Uh,
I don't say anything this time.
Senator Vance's office, how can I help you?
Yeah, who am I speaking with?
Are you speaking with William, sir?
Who is it?
William?
William? Hey, my name is James Preston.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm calling in because I need to know what's being done about Tyler hanging up on We the People.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not exactly for sure what you're referring to.
Okay, when a constituent or a We the People or the Me the People, we call in, can you tell us what your job is?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not sure at all what you're referring to. You were saying you were hung up on?
Yes.
Well, I would be happy to take down a message and pass it along to the senator if you'd like.
Well, we've already tried that, and it's not getting to who it's supposed to be getting to. Either one that, or the senator is saying, "Well, piss on him. We don't care." I mean, one or the other. And here's the problem that we're having. What'd you say your name was?
You're speaking with William, sir.
William? Okay, I called in, William, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and Tyler, an intern, picked up the phone, and I had told him on, like what we're doing right now on my channel, and we went over some things that we wanted J.D. Vance to know that We the People wanted, and at the end of it, he couldn't tell me one thing because he didn't write them down, and then whenever I tried to go back over it with him, he hung up on me. And all the other ones that I called, everybody says, well, we're not supposed to hang up on the people. But I was hung up on. It wasn't the first time. And Sherrod Brown or whatever, that wannabe office over there, I can kind of expect that out of the liberal-crats, Democrats or whatever. I kind of get, them doing that. They still need to be reprimanded for that. But whenever I call Brad Wenstrup's office, I mean, I know Charles and Jacob and, those guys by name over there. They're respectful. At the end of it, they just volunteer. They just say, okay, can I read you off what your message is? And I'm like, sure, and they tell me what was. And then we hang up like, civilized human beings, and more importantly, their place and my place. We don't even have to discuss that I'm the people, and we don't even have to discuss that, they're working for We the People. We don't even have to bring that into. They just do it, So whenever I call, especially J.D. Vance, it's supposed to be, yay Trump and endorsing Trump and all that stuff and vice versa, and we're there. And then whenever I call in and I can't even get anything done about being hung up on, well, me and the rest of everybody that I know watching is trying to figure out, wait, if we can't even do something about when something happens that's not supposed to happen so small, but that's not really small. And that's what all of the subscribers are telling me. And what I know, that's not a small thing. You just shut the people up. You hung up on the people. Your office right now hung up on We the People. And in a very disrespectful way.
Well, yeah, I apologize that happened, sir. Unfortunately, the individual was an intern, and his internship concluded about 2 weeks ago. I'm an intern as well, and we've been instructed to never hang up on any constituents. So I'd be happy to take down a message for you and pass it along to the senator if you'd like.
Well, yeah, and we'll get that in a second, but you know what? You just gained a bunch of ground there with all of us here because we're all smiling and giving thumbs up, and so everybody that's right here listening that's in the room, and I'm sure all the ones watching at home right now are like, yeah, you know, because we had to get to this point. We had to get here. Because if we can't take care of that, and you guys don't understand what an important, significant role you guys are, not, I'm not going to use the word playing, but that you guys are doing right now, I mean, you don't need to be there. And, you know, there was a couple of people that said, well, you know what, why don't we give him a chance? Why don't we give him a chance? Look, we don't have no time for giving nobody no chances right now. There's a bunch of demonic stuff at work here when they're flooding us, and we know what they're doing. But why can't we get anything done? So the first thing to write down would be definitely thanks for getting rid of somebody that disrespected we the people by getting rid of Tyler. We want that sent to J.D. Vance. Also, the second thing is this border, the lack of, we don't have a border. So when somebody says re-secure the border, it's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? Because there's no border to secure. If there's a border, it's because that Greg Abbott had created a border and put it back. And then when you have somebody fighting to take what little bit that he has established, which is not a little bit, we understand that's a huge thing, but it's kind of like having a wall and then putting a door, you know, there's a door down here and there's a door in the middle and a door over here that you can still walk through. It's not really a wall. It's, you know, at best maybe a barrier, right? Because they can run over to New Mexico or wherever, which I think New Mexico is finally, you know, getting on the ball too. But we don't want this. Look, the Bilderbergs and the Council of the Seven, William, do you know anything about them?
I'm not familiar now.
Okay, we want you to I'll bet I'm willing to bet just about anything that you want to bet that J.D. Vance is well aware of them. And we want him to know that we are well aware of the Council of the Seven, who are the ones instructing the Bilderbergs and their demonic agenda that they're doing. Because they want to unalive anybody who is not considered one of them, one of their families, or a useful idiot.
I'd be happy to pass this message along, Senator, for you.
All right, we ain't done yet. We have other offices and stuff that are bailing out of there on the weekends.
Unfortunately, sir, a meeting just walked into the office, and I'm the only one here, so I do have to run and take care of this group that just came in. But I would be happy to pass this message along for you.
Okay, so are we on a time limit?
Yes, unfortunately, I do have to run here, sir. I apologize.
All right, when's a good time for me to call back?
You are free to call back on Monday when our office opens again after the weekend.
All right. Well, what is this week? What is the meeting about?
Unfortunately, I can't disclose the contents of the meeting, but I do really have to run here, sir. I apologize.
Well, you know what? If you hang up, you're hanging up on the people yourself. So that's up to you. Because I'm not done.
Sir, but I am making you aware I do have.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Then you're going to do what you just sat there and said that you wouldn't do. So if you choose to do that, you go ahead and do that. But I assure you, you're going to be on the channel doing that to We the People, just right along with Tyler. So you make that call. I don't know why you guys think it is that for whatever reason. Do you think this is the only time I heard somebody say that I've got a meeting? And you're the only one there? And this is a Friday, and it's right before 5 o'clock, and you're telling me there's a meeting? Well, just tell me what the meeting is. If you can tell me what the meeting is, I'll let you go. Otherwise, I want to tell you about making sure that J.D. Vance understands that we don't want any more of this garbage where they're not doing paper ballots and stuff like that. We don't want to hear any more about election frauds and all this stuff. And what is he doing? We need him to go and help these other people that are running for office, or they're trying to come into this country the legal way, but they're being stifled and stuff and stepped over by the ones that's being flown in here. And how many flights are there? We want to know how many flights that they're making from other countries, and how many illegal invaders have been flown into this country. Did you get that?
I did, sir, but I do have to go now.
Well, that's up to you. Did you write that down? Can you read me back what you're taking to him?
Yes, sir. You asked the senator about the border.
Not asking. Not ask. I'm telling him we need the border fixed. We need a border.
And you were also pleased that the aforementioned intern was also no longer in the office.
We're very pleased with that.
But with that, I do have to go, sir. So you have a good weekend.
Well, what about the other stuff that I just told you about? You know, Michigan, you know, they're using thumb drives or whatever, and they put them in there, and they're having all these elections, so-called elections that are not elections at all. They're called put-ins, because whenever you have somebody that takes a thumb drive and they put it in there and it puts in a bunch of votes and stuff like that, well, they just buried all the competitor. And well, there you go, William, right? Well, we got a new William here to deal with. And isn't it funny that it's before 5 o'clock? It's, matter of fact, time on the phone here says 4:52 p.m. Ain't that something? So, anyway, well, let's make another phone call here. Because I'm going to tell you something. This is the problem now, that they get on the phone. And, you know, there's been people that said, you know, I don't like to call in because you never can get anybody. And I said, well, you know what? You just got to keep doing it. Here's the problem. They just said that, you know what you're seeing right here, right now? You're seeing exactly what it is that this guy goes on to talk about. They're not firing bullets. They're firing situations. Think about this. You can't get anywhere because there's always a situation. And I was getting ready. I wanted to tell him about something that is kind of near and personal, you know, but he wouldn't even, you know, stick on the phone. And when they act like, okay, I'll pass that message along. I'll pass that message along. Why are they in such a hurry? See, clearly their mindset is not, I want to become an intern. I want to do this so I can see how the government works firsthand, and I can move up and I can understand how to help this country better. You know, is that what Trump's doing? I got some questions about Trump, you know, I do. A man that says that he don't have anything to apologize to the Lord about, you know, kind of makes you kind of tilt your head sideways, you know. But it's way better, because think about this. What does this boil down to, this election? Once again, it's like complete stupidity that we already seen, or we go with Trump. But in fairness, when it comes time for like running the country and stuff like that, yeah, absolutely. And I'm not saying that I don't like Trump. I absolutely, I haven't seen anything that I don't like, other than when they asked him, have you repented to the Lord, you know, and that's apologizing. And he says, you know, I really don't have anything to apologize for, you know. Well, I'm going to tell you something. The only one I know that was like that walked on water. And if Trump can show me he can walk on water, okay, I'll take that back, you know. But I'm pretty sure, you know, he's not going to be able to walk on. I know he's not walking on no water. There's only one that does that. So anyway, but that, you know, I don't want that to come across like that I'm attacking Trump, because that's more of a personal manner and between him and the Lord, you know, which all I'm saying about that is I would like to see him. Now, why is that really relevant? I'm going to say something out loud that maybe people are thinking about, but usually people don't say the quiet part out loud, but I'm going to say it out loud. Here's what we're worried about. Is like if Trump, you know, feels like that, like he really doesn't have anything to apologize to the Lord, once again, that's to the Lord. I understand he don't want to appear to be weak, you know, being, you know, President of the United States, the most powerful man in the world. You know, that's the position. As it should be. But that's why it's even more important to have your relationship with God nailed down. Because this goes right down the line with, you know, empathy and, you know, for your fellow person and so on and so forth. And I believe that he has that. But to say that he doesn't feel like he's ever done anything that he has to apologize, we all have something we need to apologize for, you know. And so, but with that being said, no, I mean, Trump definitely, we don't have a choice. I mean, we already see where this demonic piece of garbage is heading for, whatever. I'm going to pull this back up on this guy here, and we're going to, because I want you guys to see some more of this.
Military gadgets are transforming people's condition and endurance.
Let me get rid of this here. You got to pay the...
All right, listen up, folks.
We're going over some documents from 1954 from an elite group of folks who are out to control every aspect of your life and have done a good job of doing it, by the way, and are now on a full court press for the final chapter of this paperwork, and you're not going to like it. So that's why we're exposing this paperwork. We're trying to educate the public the best we can, as fast as we can, as warned in the documents, I might add. Warning. It is only a matter of time before the new breed of private programmer will catch on to the far-reaching implications of the work begun at Harvard in 1948. And today...
Harvard! The schools! Harvard! See, whenever all of these demonic goes into these universities, are they concentrating on, well, let me get a job, or you know what, even if you, it doesn't matter if you own something or if you work for somebody, it's a job, you know. Sometimes just waking up in the morning is a job. But if you, I mean, I can't understand their mindset, and I don't want to. I guess the understanding, the only thing that we need to understand is that they're demonic. And how do we know that? Is because if they're suppressing or oppressing someone else, they're demonic. I have never ever went to anyone and caused them trouble. Just out of the blue, went to somebody. But usually I have pieces of demonic garbage that have come to me asking or wanting from me, and then my empathy gets me in trouble because I think, well, I don't really want to, but you know, Lord says, you know, if you can help somebody, help them, and I know that it says we're saved by our faith and not by our deeds, but you know, are we not our brother's keeper and all that, you know, comes into my head. And let me tell you something, the devil, demons. And when you say devils and demons, you know, we're not talking about little, when you say devil, I mean, you're talking about the most demonic. See, think about that word demonic, what that means. It means sick, evil. When you say the word evil, man, you know, you're talking about horrible, horrific, horrifying stuff that just absolutely is totally against God. in the worst way possible is what we're talking about. So, and that's what we're dealing with here, and these papers that were found or gotten or whatever from the Bilderberg meeting. Because when you say that, you know, it's for the Bilderberg meeting, okay, that means that there's a place, and then they had a meeting and they just passed out. But it's very important to understand that not only did these people receive these papers and go along with these papers, and we know this because this was done years ago, but now we can see that it was implemented on us, we the people. You know, and when I say we the people, I mean the God-fearing, God-loving people that are not out to hurt or harm anybody, you know, unless you trespass on us, you know. But, you know, when Jesus went into the temple and found out that, you know, there was money changers in there, why did he take a switch to them? Okay, that was like totally, you know, again, and that's what we're dealing with now. This stuff is going totally against what he is about. And this is not what we was made for. We was made for to serve him and to love him and to do good, you know, and be thankful for what is given to us. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm a filthy rag. Yes, I am. I'm a filthy rag. The Bible says that we're filthy rags. There's nothing else that we can be as long as we're living here, you know. So I'm not perfect, and there might be a lot of you that says, well, you know, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. Just get out. Get out. If you don't understand, I'm not even kidding about that. Because everybody here believes in God, and we all know that we have to do what we have to do in order to survive, you know. And for somebody to say, oh, no, well, you don't have to do that, or you shouldn't have did that. It's real easy to be self-righteous whenever you haven't been in a situation. And I know that it says turn the cheek, turn the cheek, turn the cheek. Well, again, I'm a filthy rag. And I just don't like injustice. I don't like it at all. And here's how much that I don't like it. When I don't go somewhere looking, you know, to do anything bad or do anything evil, and then somebody else comes to me and they take from me and they go against what was agreed upon, or I'm lied to by somebody because, again, they want stuff from me, and I was kind enough to, you know, give whatever that is, a lot of times cash. And when I say cash, I mean real money. I'm talking about real gold. I'm talking about real silver. I'm not talking about the trashy, you know, I'm talking about real cash. And then they steal from you and they lie. Then, yep, I got to tell you, I'm proud to be a Christian nationalist. That's me. If you want to list me like that, that's fine with me. But enough is enough, because these sick people, see, I'm right here where you can look and you can see, right? Well, what happens whenever you have a problem and you need to call in because you have a loved one or something that something happened to, and you think, well, I'm going to call welfare, I'm going to call, you know, the hospital, or I'm going to call wherever it is that you're calling, and I'm going to tell somebody, hey, this happened to one of my loved ones, and they do nothing about it. They run you around and they pass it off and they say, well, that belongs to such and such or so and so, you know. Or you go to, let's say you go to court and you have no worries because you know that you tell the truth and everything, and then you know, you spend your time and you go on and you're talking to the demonic dumbass prosecutor and whoever else. And then later on, you find out that they hang out with the judge and they hang out with the other demonic piece of garbage public defender. And they all have their own little huddle and their own little meetings, and they call everybody by name and stuff. There's a young lady also. I should play that sometimes too. But she actually goes around and she shows where all of these judges and these public defenders and all the other whatever they are, you know, and they belong to a damn club together. They belong to a club. So think about this. You're going to your court system where you're looking to get justice, right? And you see the judge and the defender comes out and talks to you, but then they disappear back in behind wherever they disappear to. And then you see the public defender and they come, and then you know, they walk in and you think, well, maybe they're, you know, or maybe they went in different doors. And then the debauchery happens, you know, the Mickey Mouse fake put on play of a court, you know, they have their little court thing there, and that all plays out. And then, you know, you get your screwing, and then you leave with, you know, but then you think, wow, you know what? I forgot my whatever. And then you go back in unexpectedly and you see them all laughing together in their little huddle. You know, and they're all in that same room. You know, that, you know, there's 3 doors. One goes in that door and another goes in this door, but this door was never open. But then when you go back in, that door is open, ajar, and you see the judge. You know, their black robe. Think about that too. That just dawned on me. No, you ever think about that? A black robe. I wonder what that's all about. Huh? And then don't they all wear robes whenever they're doing that at
Bohemian Grove?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that something? So what the hell's up with the black robe there? I guess that's a good way of knowing, you know, the higher up piece of trash filth, right?
Couldn't wear a suit.
Exactly. You know, kind of would figure out that, you know, and doesn't it blow your mind whenever they say the honorable what's he suck is entering or whatever, and everybody stands up or whatever. You know what? I'm gonna tell you, I ain't standing up. But they you know, that's really kind of, you know, really setting on me right now. I'm thinking about that. Because if you think about all the rituals and stuff like that, if you haven't seen Bohemian Grove, you know, go look that up and watch some of that stuff. And you think, these are adults? Well, here's something that I've come to realize, especially for the younger crowd that's out there that watches the channel. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you feel like subscribing, subscribe. I would appreciate it. But guess what? If you don't like it, don't subscribe. Don't care. Don't want you here. Bohemian Grove they're supposed to be adults, but here's the difference. What I just put together. Okay, adults grow up and they realize to be kinder and to be smarter and do better. But demons, they don't ever grow up because they're already a demon when they're little, because just like with George Soros, man, look where he comes from and his nationality and all that stuff, you know. He's half Jewish or something like that, and he hates them, you know. He did some extremely bad things, which, by the way, there's some great news. He just resigned doing that. Unfortunately, he's still walking, so then there's that. So I'm sure, and also that, what was it they said? They're going to pull back like 60% of their spending around the world that they've been buying people with and everything. And I hope so. Maybe they're losing so much money that you know, they'll finally go away. You know, evilness will never be gone until Jesus comes back, and we know in fact that it doesn't go away because he does come back, and there's a huge battle in the sky, which this is where I would really I want to have another show. I'm going to have Amy to come on. She knows a lot about this stuff or whatever, but there was a guy that worked for NASA as a private contractor, and he goes on and he tells about, and you can look this up too, and I think I might have put it on an earlier video. Did we know? You remember? But he's seen they do a projection in the sky. We did that, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we know that Jesus is coming back, and he's bringing, you know, a legion with him. So we know for all that to take place that there's the battle that's of all battles is going to take place, you know. But they have this CERN thing that's going on. If you don't know about CERN, man, that it goes on and on and on. I said it before and I'll say it again. Wow. And see, I won't go into all that because Amy knows a whole lot about that stuff. So we'll have another video, and Noam and all of us will be in, and we'll do a show about more of that stuff. But for right now, let me get something else here queued up, and I'll be right back. All right. Now remember, this was implemented in 1954 and 54. So if you think about like the age of these people and stuff, you know, George Soros, Bill Gates, you know, you want to hear something really blow your mind? Think about this. Bill Gates' dad was, what's her name? The woman's name that started Planned Parenthood. What was her name? Anyway, Bill Gates' dad was her lawyer. Instead of us just all at one time, they're making different ones, and this is done through the food and through the water. And the main thing is from the you know, the thing, the pokey there. Yep, that nobody wanted to. You know, and now all these people, no kid, there's so much. It's hard. That's why I say I can't. When I start thinking about it all, it's a landslide. It's an avalanche of information. And how do you tell somebody all this? And here's what happens. You start talking to somebody, and you can literally watch them. Their mind gets so full of stuff that they just shut off. I mean, it's like, and then what do? Instead of them like taking a break, chomping on it, or going and doing research, they'll just say, well, I can't handle that, so I'm not going to deal with that. So y'all, if anybody's like that, stay underneath the porch, and because this is exactly what they want you to do, is to be that way, because then you become a jellyfish and a useless or a useful idiot. And you seen earlier what he said, you know. So they will use you. They want people like that. They want you to be mindless. They want you to be the kind that's frustrated with it. They want you to be the one that's so confused you don't know what to do. And this is what they said. They already said that. That is the mindset that they knew that they was going to put you in. So, but listen to this here. I want you to hear this. Listen real careful.
Quality of education given to the lower class must be of the poorest sort, so that the mote of ignorance isolating the inferior class from the superior class remains incomprehensible to the inferior class. I read that on yesterday's video. If you didn't watch that.
Now, you hear that? They don't want How many times have you seen or asked? They actually have videos of people that goes out and they ask the basic questions, you know, like how many states are there in the United States? They ask who the first president was, or you know, you know, how big is an iceberg, or what color is ice, or just the simplest of questions they ask, and they don't know it. You know, 8 times 8 is what? You know, simple, basic, and they can't answer it. They can't answer it. And something that I had discovered, I went through school, and I've talked about this before, but I went through school and I earned my grades that I got. Wasn't great. They was not great. But I passed. And I hated school because every time there was a test or something, I'd take a test and I would get, you know, not good grades on there, you know. It was a big deal if I seen the, you know, space. You remember the little licky sticky stars that you get, red and blue and gold stars, you know, that the teacher would get and put on there, or, you know, and the smiley face and the 100. Man, that was a big deal if I ever seen one of them. Trust me. Matter of fact, I think I framed some of those before. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that. But the other ones that I went to school with would make, like, ace the damn test. And I'm like, huh? And I knew they didn't study, because when I was going home to do work, you know, stack lumber, pull board, whatever, you know, that Dad wanted done, mow 100 yards a week, or what, that's an exaggeration, but I mean, I mowed, you know, yards and different things. But I put stereos in cars, you know, all the way up until 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, after school and stuff, and then get ready and go to school. But these guys would be going playing soccer, and they always showed up, you know, well rested and everything, and they was acing these tests. Well, now, years later, oh, you mean you didn't cheat? Well, no, I not. How was you cheating? Well, you know that we was friends with so and so, right? Well, every time why do you think we went over to his house all the time? His mom, the teacher, she'd just leave the test out there, and we just would write it. We'd write down all the answers, and then we'd, you know, just share them or whatever. You know, we'd have them wrote on our hand or on our napkin or a piece of paper that we had, you know, or something like that. And then you find out that when the teacher, the mom or whatever, they really didn't, it wasn't as if they just set them down, you know, in a certain place and then they would sneak in and get it. No. They set them there knowing for them to, because they wanted their kid to make good grades and stuff. Because face it, if you're a teacher, you would not want, you couldn't have your son or your daughter, you know, fail in your own class. That just wouldn't, you know, go over too good, would it? But it was placed there purposely, and I know this because I heard them, you know, say, well, make sure you get that wrote down because I got to put that in my, so I can take it in, you know. And later on, you know, in life, you realize that all these people, because you remember earlier I said that you don't, you know, it's not about, you know, growing up or anything like that, because I'll guarantee you the same people. Have you ever watched the House or the Senate? Have you ever watched any of this stuff there where they're arguing with each other and motion to table and all this stuff, you know? Marjorie Taylor Greene and Crockett, you know, Crockett being the Democrat or whatever. She got her feel bads hurt or something because she had some fake eyelashes or something, and you know, then she was attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, about her hair or something being blonde stuff. So doesn't that sound kind of like what the same thing would be in like school or whatever? He took my pencil or she took my crayons or something, you know? I mean, that's the same thing, you know? And in the meantime, the adults of the world, I'm not claiming to be an adult, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to be an adult. Not if an adult is what I see in there, you know. But actually, I'm going to take that back. I'm way the adult whenever it comes to those, and especially on the Democrat side there. Liberals and Democrats, man. Man, if we had a way of, anyway. But let me cue up something else here for you, and we'll be right back. All right, so listen real careful to this part here, what he says.
Even lower class individuals will have little, if any, hope of extricating themselves from their assigned lot in life. This form of slavery is essential to maintaining some measure of social order, peace, and tranquility for the ruling upper class. So they have to keep you in this kind of a fog, otherwise you're going to be all upset. And they want to make sure they maintain their, status, lifestyle.
Their power.
They don't want you to find out because they know you'll be upset.
Yeah, man, it means we'll kick their dad burn hind ends off of their mighty platform. And what is their platform? Let's put that into words. Their platform is money. Stop giving them money. Stop giving them money. You know what? All these phones and stuff like that, if you think about it, why did they make such a push to make sure that technology would let us walk around with something like that? They figured it out. What's the one thing everybody was running to use was that phone. Man, if we could get a phone in everybody's hand, you would think, normal thinking would be, how awesome would that be if everybody could have a phone? Man, you could make money off of that. Because everybody could communicate with their loved ones and they could find out information and stuff, without having to, run and, well, let me find a payphone or something. That should have been good enough, but that wasn't it at all. They was trying to figure out what could we put on somebody that they would want to keep with them. Think about it. It wasn't somebody thinking, I'll make money by putting a phone, a small phone that they could just slip in their pocket and they'd have their phone with them. How cool would that be? That alone is worth, a fortune. But that's not really what they wanted. What they wanted, they seen that as the useful part of it. They was like, well, what would be your feelings if I could tell you that we could give you a phone that you could carry around with you? Would you like that? Well, yeah, absolutely. That's cool. Okay, well, that's good. So now, since there's already something useful there, and you have a desire for that phone, they're not thinking, wow, their thought is, okay, they want the phone, so if I can give them the phone part of it, I can put in all this other stuff that will tell me where they're at and what they're doing, and I can turn it off and on and listen anytime that I want to. And I can also upgrade it, whenever you have to, your phone has been updated, schedule your update for 3 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. Your phone does that automatically. Isn't that something? So they want to make sure that if they want more information or if they want to mind control you, that they can send that phone information. So when you turn it on, and you think you're in control too, because this is what the whistleblowers at Google and Wahoo or Yahoo or whatever and all the rest of them has been saying, they bailed on it. Like whenever they turned on AI and everything, they said, hey, look, this is bad stuff, and you think that you can control it, and you can't. They think, they are strongly telling, go look them up. They'll tell you. You think you're in control of your information, and you're not. But you pick up that phone first thing in the morning, and the first thing you see is an ad for Taco Bell, which I just found out they're using cottonseed oil in. And it's kind of a blow to me because it's kind of where I've been going to. I still was, I don't do McDonald's, and, the rest of them pretty much we know that they're with the vegetable oil, which we now know is poison and so on and so forth. But cottonseed, that's like the worst. Well, that and canola. Canola is just as bad. So poisonous oils and the ingredients. Did you know about this, Gnome? They have like that red dye. You remember the strawberry Frosties?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we all thought, man, that was good. You remember? I even bought the book and was like, well, it turns out that red dye has aluminum sulfate or whatever it's called, something in there that is extremely bad for you. So you remember the glass of water I said, if you put a drop of poison in it, is it still water or is it poison? It's a whole glass of poison is what you got. Because if you got a damn good sandwich right there and it's delicious and you eat that and then somebody comes along and they say, oh, well, wait a minute, here, now we're making it and it's got this here in there. Well, it's not food, it's poison. It's the same thing, just for rats. I call it green dog food. It looks like dog food, but it's green and it's poison. Because it's poison and it's green, and I should tell you that it's poison. Not just because it's green, but poison. Want one for your boy? Who was it said that? Poison. Want one for your boy? It's, what was his name? Ernest. Ernest P. Worrell. Anybody remember old Ernest P. Worrell? His name was Jim something. Alright, so anyway, we'll be right back. Alright, 1954. Remember, this here's what they're planning for you or whatever. Now listen, he's reading right from the paper there that they got from this. So listen to this. Now listen, this is the silent weapon. Think about it.
Everything that is expected from the ordinary weapon is expected from the silent weapon by its creators, but only in its own manner of functioning. It shoots situations instead of bullets. Situations instead of bullets. Have you guys been in some situations lately? All manufactured by the government? Please take this seriously. This is no joke, man. It's propelled by data processing instead of chemical reaction explosions, like in a bullet. Man, this is deep stuff. Originating from its bits of data instead of grains of gunpowder, from a computer instead of a gun, operated by a computer programmer instead of a marksman, under the orders of a banking magnate instead of a military general. It makes no obvious explosion noises, causes no obvious physical or mental injuries, and does not interfere with anyone's daily social life. You picking that up?
Alright, now listen. This is a whole lot of stuff to process, even for me, and I've been processing this for quite a while. And you've seen, again, like whenever you call in to the representative there, or William there, J.D. Vance, the situations is that they just don't get it. They don't understand. That machine's job, priority, should have been, I don't care what time it is, I'm going to listen. And I'll be honest with you. He was so distracting that I couldn't think of the million things list that I was originally going to tell him, because I knew that he'd already checked out. When he started talking about, well, I gotta go. How do you talk to somebody like that then? When you already know they do not give a damn about what you're saying. Okay, and this is where we're at, and this is what the same gentleman here is saying. Now, this guy here, it's
Off Grid.
Yeah, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and I give him just dues there. He does a lot of really good stuff, and he and I are really like-minded. So are we. So many of you guys out there that I talk to and stuff, you know, like-minded. Thank goodness, you know, that's why you're here. But, you know, we have got to get on this because we're out of time. We're out of time. You know, they're going to do something. I'm telling you right now, they are scheduled, Trump and the old, you know, did you ever in your wildest thought ever think that they would say, well, he's an old forgetful man, so let's not do anything to him? Like we're talking about Biden? Are you kidding me? So let's leave him in there as, he's not a damn president. I'll never ever call him, he's not a damn president. He's a damn put-in. He's a puppet. But think about it. Whose puppet is he? I was saying, you know, George Soros and stuff, but it is the council, the Council of Seven is who the puppet masters really are, you know. And truth be told, I'd say there's more than 7. I'd say there's more than, but it's the banks that's doing this. Like the Federal Reserve, you hear Federal Reserve and you think, oh, well, that's the Bank of the United States. No, it's a worldwide bank that does banking any damn where that they want to, because they're not beholden to anybody. They're just like McDonald's or anybody else. Well, actually, they're way worse than McDonald's. Of course, I would say McDonald's is tied up in there somehow, some way. But anyway, listen. It's a lot of information. I appreciate you hanging out, dive into this stuff. If you haven't, please subscribe. If you have, you know, if you haven't checked out some of the earlier videos and stuff, go back and look at some of them where we call into Brad Winstrup's office and so on and so forth. Listen, God bless America. God bless you and yours. We're praying for you. Thanks for praying for us. Love you, Lord. Love you, boss. Peace out.